G'day folks and welcome back to another episode of Encounters Down Under. I was lucky enough to be invited back onto the Subconscious Realms podcast with General Lee and dive down deeper into the topic of UFOs. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the Subconscious Realm podcast, which is available on all major platforms, where they discuss topics that go against the narrative of today's world. So please welcome to the show, General Lee from Subconscious Realms. Also, I decided to leave the podcast intro here from Subconscious Realms as I absolutely love his intro here. It goes deep and dark in the soul and just brings chills to the bone. It's just an absolutely awesome intro. So, guys, enjoy.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Welcome to another episode of Subconscious Realms. I'm your host, General Lee. For tonight, we are being joined by one of our extraordinary returning guests, and I mean extraordinary. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the host and creator of Encounters Down Under, Anthony. Now then, Anthony.
Yeah, mate, how you going?
I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good. Yourself?
Going good, mate. Going good. It's warmed up since I last spoken with you. Last time it was pretty bloody chilly. I was here in my little Uggy boots and jacket and jumper and whatever, and even warm. But now she's starting to warm up a bit, so we're back to shorts and singlets during the night, just about.
I love it. Is it that bad?
It's not that bad. No, it's not that bad. Like because I'm North Queensland, mate. We're used to like temperatures up into 40 degrees Celsius here, and go range between 30s and 40s all the time. So that's prime weather for us, just about.
Yeah.
So when it gets a bit cold, you can just we can rug up.
Is it normal? Like, is it like round about this time every year it gets a bit colder?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, look, I think I said this last time too. Like, we might get like maybe 2-3 months worth of weather where we need to sort of rug up, like especially at night time, where we rug up.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much
Rug
it
up.
for the rest of the year for us. We're all we're just we're walking around normal as if it's normal.
So you're not got your matching leopard skin thong and vest on tonight, mate?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nice one, mate. So since last time we spoke, Anthony, have you had any like guests on what of the experience as like proper like fucking like wide-eyed, if you know what I mean? Like you got shit.
I think
Do you know what I mean?
I can't remember if it was this lady I had there one time there when I was last speaking to you. If it was after that, I can't remember now. But absolute ripper of a story. Like not many people come across this close an encounter. Basically, she's doing her laundry. It's like the old school sort of setup with the laundries at the back of the house. It's I'm not sure if they're the same over there in England. I think it'd be a bit different for you guys over there. Basically, the classic sort of style setup for houses back in the classic sort of times for Australia, laundries were always set to the back of the house, and also had a bit of a toilet and all sorts of stuff around there as well. But anyway, so her laundry is set at the back of the house, and so she can overlook her backyard, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And basically, she's seen this strange object in the distance there. She's at a national park, so she's got bushland, scrub, forest,
Yeah.
Absolutely surrounded, except for the backyard's a bit opened up because she's on a bit of acreage or something like that, on a bit of land anyway. And she could see this weird sort of light, and she was sort of questioning, going, "That's a bit weird. Like, there should be nothing out there. Like, must the neighbors are doing something weird out there? I don't know." But either way, then the object started doing some weird maneuvers that sort of defied the whole concept of it being an aircraft or anything of that sort of concept. Um, so she sort of turned the lights off because it was in the evening time, so it was getting a bit dark. So she turned the lights off, and then just sort of walked outside to sort of try and get a better idea of what the hell is going on. And just as she sort of like it disappeared, and she's like sort of lost a bit of interest, and like, oh, that's a bit weird, and sort of went to go turn around to go back to go and do it in her laundry. Then she could see this strange object to sort of like start coming up her backyard towards the house, and she's like sort of stood there like a kangaroo in the spotlight, like going, "What
Yeah.
the hell is that?" Wide eyed and like, "Oh, geez, okay, this is a bit weird." So she's gone and ducked off to a nearby tree. I think it was a gum tree or something like something reasonably large, and she sort of hid behind that. And here comes this craft, basically coming up along, and she would have been like maybe 15 meters from it, 15, 20 meters. Like you could literally throw a rock at this thing.
Yeah.
And she could see like this bit of a light through the like what looked like a bit of a windshield basically, and could see some sort of beings inside there. And as if like by the time she like sort of knows that there could have been possibly a being at the windscreen there, the window, the interior lights sort of switched off because they're like, oh shit, someone can see us with this light on. And basically, it just peers through her back laundry window, laundry door, looking inside, basically seeing her husband sitting there with the bub. And like that's one of the most mind-blowing encounters that someone could actually have, getting this close to this thing. And she described the craft as basically roundish. I think maybe a bit more like egg shape-ish, but it had like these strange engravings on the side of it there, and she could see these like think of like a LED light going around a strip, and it's just going on the outside sort of thing, like just going around the crafts. But like she couldn't really make out any like fine details of like if like it had wings or anything like that. It just sort of had these like weird sort of lights going around it. And and she was like absolutely sort of in awe, but also like scared shitless because like she didn't know what the hell was going on. Basically, like what the hell is this thing? She was like hoping that her husband was going to come out with a baby and like see this thing as like staring dead at him. Like that would have just been freaky.
You fucking imagine though.
And it's just absolutely mind blowing to even get that close. And like she reckons like a bit of a low hum to it and all sort of stuff. Like people sort of describe that sort of thing when they're able to get that close to these crafts. And basically, it's just sort of like lost interest over time, and then just zoomed up, and like she could actually hear like the engines or whatever it is that makes this thing maneuver, so like whir up as if like it's just, and then just went off over the trees and away it goes.
Mate.
And she's like losing her mind, going, "What just happened?" But yeah, also like no descriptions of missing time or anything like that. Just more basically just her freaking out, going, "Wow!" In absolute awe and dumbstruck. You ran across to her neighbours and seeing if they might have seen something there, but unfortunately no one else saw it, and it just left her with so many questions, and it just that's the thing, that the common occurrence with these sort of situations, like it just leaves you with questions, going, what the hell did I just see? What situation did I just get thrown into? And unfortunately never the answers you want.
Do you know, mate, right? Do you know what the good part of all this is? She's come to you.
Yeah. Oh, look, mate, it was absolutely awesome having her come and contact me. It actually turns out she was actually friends with a close friend of mine that I grew up with as well, which was even better. It was like small world. It's like, wow, okay.
Do you know something, right? I remember Grub mentioned, I'm gonna take a guess if it's the same episode. Is it season 3, episode 7?
Who was that one with?
Joyce. Joyce.
Oh yeah, Joyce there with where she oh no, it's Joyce. Yeah, season 3, episode 7. Yeah, Joyce. Yep.
Is that the same one?
No, it's not. No, this one was
right. No, Grub said to me, "You've got to check this one out." I will check it out, but I am very intrigued for the one you just mentioned, then, mate.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
that one, oh, what was her name now? I'm trying to think what her name was now. Bloody, Alana.
Alana.
Yeah, she was season 3, episode 6. I think. Yeah, Joyce was the next one that came up after her. So yeah, this one's season 3, episode 6. It was hovering at our back door.
That's our back door.
Yeah,
Right.
it was Alana. And
I've
it was, yeah, absolute
just
ripper of an
downloaded it
experience.
anyway. Quality, mate. Quality. That's it. I
Yeah,
mean, it's like before we started recording on here. It's what I said to you about your approach with each guest you've got on. It's you that's getting them to tell the story, and it's not easy to do that. It's an achievement.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. Look, thanks again,
Yeah,
mate. It's like, look,
brilliant.
there's so many people out there having these sort of experiences there, and like the best thing is like people to come out and talk about these experiences, because like they're genuine experiences, like you're saying, like they're coming forward, and like we were saying before, like you can hear the quality in their voices. They're not making the bullshit up. They got no agenda really to be coming talking about this sort of thing. There's no money to be made from this. There's no fame
No,
to be talking about this. If anything, it might open them up to more ridicule, and which is a sad part of this whole topic.
it's very sad. It's very sad.
Unfortunately, the reality is there of that.
Yeah,
But luckily enough, we're sort of getting away from that agenda that is attached to this whole UFO phenomena.
yeah.
People aren't crazy. They're not on drugs. They're not, they're not
They're not,
on some
and
sort of substance. They're not crazy. Not
it's
loopy in the head
disappointed
to
in it,
see these
mate.
things.
I mean, but I mean, I watched off the top of my head the name of the show. I'm not quite sure, but like a bit like just say, for example, Ancient Aliens. You get shows that, and it's like when they go up. It's not Ancient Aliens, just an example. And
Yep.
whoever they're interviewing, the witness or whoever's reported it, and first things they're saying is, have you been drinking? Have you been smoking weed? Have you been taking drugs? It's just weird that is their approach. Instead of
Well,
I get it
I
to
wouldn't say
some
it's really a
sort of
weird
extent.
approach though, because obviously it's one of those things like you sort of need to rule out that sort of possibility because like
Yeah,
obviously you
I
got
get that.
yeah, like you do get your substances there that do have some forms of hallucinogenics, and that can play a
Yeah,
part in seeing some strange things. So, like, of course, like it is one of those approaches that you sort of do, like as disrespectful as it might sound to begin with, but obviously it's got
yeah,
you're trying to give the people the opportunity to sound credible, I should say,
yeah,
sound
yeah,
genuine, basically, because
yeah.
it's
And
not it's not me that you have to convince. It's the people there listening to your
that's
story that you
listening.
need to convince.
Yeah,
Obviously, like there's other people that are firm believers, which is great, but it's the ones that want to continuously ridicule and throw everyone in the dirt, basically, about your experience there, saying you're full of shit or whatever. They're the ones that
yeah,
you need to try and convince to say, look, my experience was real. And honestly, like these people shouldn't have any judgments against people that have had these experiences. But unfortunately, the way the world
for
works,
sure,
that
mate.
people will want to question it, which isn't a bad thing either. Like question everything, but do it in a
Question
respectful
everything. Yeah,
manner that
yeah,
has to be approached with respect. It needs to be given its credit due to the fact that you weren't there to experience it. So why can't you believe their story when they're saying that they were saying having a
yeah,
genuine experience?
yeah, exactly, mate. 100% that, mate.
So yeah, basically, I would never discredit anyone's experience. Like if they came to me and said, "Look, I've seen something," I was like, "Okay, that's cool. Like, can you like tell me a bit more about it?" I want to like details to sort of get an idea of what your. I want to be able to picture it in my head what you experienced, basically.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
that's why I'm a big believer, like, especially with the Facebook page that I run, the Australian UFO sightings. The biggest thing I
What's
find
it
in that
called, mate?
Australian UFO sightings
Australian.
dash AUFOS or ORFOS for short. It's Australia's biggest Facebook UFO page, basically. But like, you know, like, I get so many people come on there, like, yeah, I don't know if we want to call them trolls, but you know, people want to they want firm evidence of what people have captured. Some people
What?
take it in a sad approach. Like, obviously, sorry, is that Missy? That you say why?
Hey, it's like that though. When you're saying that, you get people like trolling. You're gonna get that anyway, but
Oh yeah,
it's just silly, isn't it?
yeah. I don't
Like you
understand.
say,
Like, yeah, to answer your question, why? Like, I don't really know why, to be honest. Like, they must get a kick out of some of it, but like, there's a difference between trolling and asking for more information for evidence of this experience. You know,
yeah.
trolls will basically just be idiots and try and say something stupid to try and trigger you, basically. But then there's
Yeah.
other people that are sort of asking genuine sort of questions. They might approach it badly, you know, or they might ask it a bit wrong, and some people get on the defense and start calling them trolls or negative or non-believers and that sort of stuff. But it's like, it's not the fact that they're non-believers; it's just that they're asking a genuine question that they're curious, but because it's going
Yeah.
against your perception of how you perceived your experience, some people jump on the defense, which is sad. Like especially for the people that are being genuine and asking for a credible question, you know, because like as I've mentioned in the last podcast, you know, there's a lot of misidentifications. People are mistaken, you know, planets or Starlink, drones, planes. You know, people think that just because they
Yes.
don't understand what they're seeing has to be an alien craft, which isn't the case. There's a lot of
Yeah.
explanations
Yeah.
to things, you know,
Yeah.
and
I
again,
think especially now with technology, Anthony, it's I mean, you're saying the drones. It's they're incredible. When you watch, like, you have a quick gander on YouTube, and you see some of the drones, and they're it's like something out of a science fiction film.
yeah.
They
Well,
are
you look at
incredible.
the drone shows they're doing now; they're absolutely amazing.
You know how fast they go.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like, we've got these drones that
Proper
are going up
rapid.
like 400 k's an hour, just about. Just
Fucking hell, man.
they're insanely fast.
Yeah.
And like, you know, some people will go and say, like, you know, with the drones, like, you know, oh, drones don't travel that fast. Like, have you seen how fast a drone actually
Oh,
goes?
they're rapid, mate. Rapid.
They are. Like, obviously, commercial ones, they cruise along, um, not super duper fast, but they cruise along pretty quickly. Like, and it also comes down to perspective as well. Like, how far away are you looking at
Yeah.
this thing?
Yeah.
Um, which will determine how fast I can go, or is it coming straight towards you or away from you? That kind of thing. There's
Yeah.
so many different perspectives and details you need to look at. And like the biggest thing I find too, like when people are trying to explain something too, is like they always say, "Oh, there's no sound," and it's like, "Well, hang on. Well, how far away do you think this object was?" Like, "Oh, it might have been like, you know, a kilometer or so away." And it's like, "Well, okay, you need to take into account wind direction, wind speeds, all that sort of stuff there."
Yeah.
Um, if you look at a plane, like a light plane, for instance, going across top of you won't even hear that thing coming over you until it's almost literally on top of you.
Yeah.
Or even like maybe like give it like 20, 30 seconds before you actually see it or something, you know? And that depends on the direction of the wind and all sorts of stuff. Like, there's just so many different elements to take into account of like just because you can't hear it does not mean it isn't producing some sort of noise.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like I said, like it just depends on distance, perception, all sorts of stuff. I go into a heap of detail to try and
Do you know as well, Anthony?
explain it,
Like,
but
it's
yeah.
like the ones that I've seen, like on videos, the ones you can buy, you could just go into a shop and buy it yourself, or get it online. But the military, what they're using, I can imagine that being a complete different again.
Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
the, you know, technology with electric motors these days, like they've gotten a lot quieter. You know, you're barely going to hear them at all. Like especially when it comes to military stuff, and they're actually going and doing the drone strike. You won't even know the drone's there.
yeah, I know. Remarkable. They really are.
It is, yeah. Like
Imagine,
technology's gone a long way, and it's
yeah,
scary.
imagine the stuff what we don't know about, like experimental, what's not quite come out yet.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, eh? Like, I think we touched on it last time too. Like, especially like with Roswell and the technology from that, where they're claiming they're reverse engineering the technology from that, and basically, when was Roswell? That was at 30s or 40s. I can't even think now. I think it
Roswell,
was. When was that? I
640s,
think
I
it's
think. Let's,
40. I think it was the 40.
I could be wrong, mate. Let's have a,
Yeah, I'm horrible with dates.
have a quick.
This is my topic, and I can't even remember the dates.
It's all right, mate. We're good.
But basically, like like you look at Roswell, our technology started booming from that point on. Like we started getting like
1947,
microwaves.
mate. So
47.
far off
There you
it.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
Things boomed from that point. Like computer chips became a big thing. We got compact discs, microwaves, and all sorts of stuff. And then everything just improved and advanced from that point on. Obviously, we haven't made anything too groundbreaking to this day, but obviously, it's all just been advanced from that situation. And it, like as you're saying, like how much has been left behind and behind closed doors of that sort of technology that could help us advance into a bigger society. And it's sort of if for the Americans, like say the Americans or whichever countries do have recovered crafts or whatever, all this technology that they're withholding for themselves, which could have helped and benefited the whole entire human society, human race, basically.
No, mate, it's just fucking nuts, isn't it? I mean, this is just like Roswell. It's like just after World War II.
Yeah.
And you've got like your German scientists being divided equally near enough. You've got, some went to America, you've got the Russians. It seems to have grown from like around that. I mean, it's probably started well before that.
It could have done too.
The growth of technology is fascinating, which is also worrying, I think.
Yeah, and like you said, like it just makes you wonder how much information technology has been withheld from us for so long now. It's like it's what 50 years now we're going on from that.
50 years. That's a long time, that, isn't it?
That'd be longer, man. We're 70 years.
I'd love to know, mate, what they've what new gear they've got.
Yeah, and look, honestly, like hoping with the this U.S. Congress sort of thing that's been going on, there's a lot of outcome on that where they're bringing out a new declaration there where whistleblowers can start coming out without being ridiculed or all that sort of stuff. I can't think of the right words going say this, but they're not going to be held accountable for breaking their silence. Basically, nothing's going to go against. It's not going to affect their pensions or their careers or in any way. Like basically, it's opening up a whole new world to the whole UAP concept when all these people that have been hiding for years basically with their stories, their details, their information basically. Yeah. And they're finally going to come out there without the ridicule that would come with it. So it's going to be good.
Yes, mate. Have you been? Have you seen any of the latest AI, the machines?
I haven't really been keeping up with that. The latest I sort of knew is like Elon Musk. They're getting into the mind control sort of side of things. There, that was a bit scary. It's cool, but it's kind of scary too when you really think about it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, mate. It's did a show. It was me, New York Patriot, and the Hush Hush Society last Friday, and the topic was like MK Ultra and the celebrity drones. Drones, not drones, clones. Like fucking hell, man.
That's scary, especially coming the concept of clones.
Yeah, highly believable in my opinion. Highly.
Well, now that you've mentioned that, Like, I always like I have heard of stories with doppelgangers there, and I know I brought her
There
up
we go,
last
mate.
time too,
That's as
doppelgangers.
good as it's. Yeah, it's just that doppelganger. Yeah, yeah.
I brought her up last time when I was speaking to you too, Gail. My first guest on the podcast there. She even mentioned that her friends reckon they saw her in a completely different random location. Like she lives up in Queensland,
Yeah.
and they reckon they saw her down in Melbourne, which is 2 states down, which is like it will take you about 24 hours to get down there for a drive. Um, it's a long ass drive. It's like,
Yeah.
oh geez, like 18, 20,000 kilometers away or something like that.
Fucking
So it'll
hell,
take
man.
you a long time to get there. And basically, they were just speaking. I can't remember the whole entire story, but basically, they're going, "Are you down here in Melbourne or something?" Like she's like, "No, I'm up here in bloody Queensland." And she goes, "I swear, I just seen you walk past me. I even said hello to you and looked at you, and like you look exactly the same, and like you didn't even acknowledge me or anything." It's like, "Oh, okay, that's a bit rude," but And yeah, and she's like, "No, that's not me. I'm at work up in Queensland or such blah blah blah." It just so it's not the first time I've heard these whole doppelganger things. It's as strange as it is, but there's a strong possibility that these things are out there doing that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, how are we talking like days? And it will take to travel.
Probably looking if you well, it depends on how if you want to do a day and night. I think it probably would take you about a good traveling day, or it depends on where you are in Queensland too. Like from
Yeah.
if you're going from the Gold Coast, basically it's about 9 hours to Sydney, and then probably about another 9 hours roughly from Sydney to Melbourne. I think it is. So you're looking at
It's
about
extraordinary, that
16,
mate.
18 hours roughly. Yeah.
Extraordinary. But do you know what's weird? I mean, I remember Triffer mentioned this about like sort of portals, like
Oh yeah.
in Australia. Are you familiar with the any of these areas where like you could go in one part and come out somewhere completely fucking different?
Yeah, I've heard about them. I can't remember what they're called now, but it's an Aboriginal sort of thing. But I can't even
Yeah,
think off
that's
the
it,
top of my
right?
head
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
But yeah, I remember something about it, but I didn't dive enough into it to sort of really get a better idea of how the
yeah,
concept works or something. I understand, obviously it's a ancient sort of practice. I don't know. I don't know if they're still practicing it to this day. Otherwise, you'd sort of think it would be a bit more open knowledge to it.
yeah,
It's strange. Obviously, like it is hard to believe because, like it goes against our sort of logic. But like anything's possible in this world. We just got no idea
Hey, you're
really.
not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. Anything's possible. Oh, could you imagine all that? Imagine just going just like one part and then it goes like fucking thousands of kilometers away in no
Yeah.
time. Mate, it
Oh,
would
how good
change
would that
everything.
be?
That one. It would change everything, wouldn't
Bloody hell, they
it?
would. But that's where I think sort of like the whole ley lines thing sort of come into it. I know we were talking with Grub about that and going down the whole
Yeah,
concept of ley lines and that. Like the ancient civilizations, they had some sort of idea that ley lines existed in this world, and it was an interconnected energy or something like that, where they could either communicate, sort of like a phone line, basically. They're
yeah,
wrapped around the world to all these different locations. Like if you look at all the ancient, I don't know, what you gonna call them, ritual sites. I don't know.
yeah.
What would you call them? Sacred
Like
sites, basically.
megalithic sites, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. They're somehow connected onto some sort of ley line.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
obviously, there's some sort of connection throughout the whole entire world where they've been communicating or something. There's a connection there where the world's known about it
yeah.
somehow.
You hit the nail on the head there, mate. It is worldwide, everywhere, and it's like it's why I mentioned this a few times lately, but Hollow Earth, like inner Earth, it's why I like highly believe that the possibility is, I think it definitely. It's got to be something.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like,
Oh, look, it's
it's like there's a lot of things people don't understand it, and the reaction. It's like,
well, look,
you know what I mean, don't you?
yeah, look, it is a hard thing to grasp though, that the whole concept of a hollow Earth, because it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense in that sense. But
It doesn't. Do you know what I think? A lot of it is why it doesn't make sense. It's because of growing up. It was like it's like it was ridiculed to even fucking think of it.
yeah,
And to me, that's I think it's sad on the I will just quote elders, our old teachers at school or whoever. It's just fucking crazy, mate. The stuff what they've hidden from us, kept away from us.
yeah, I know. And like I've mentioned this last week spoke too. Like religions they played a massive part in just you know hiding everything or destroying every sort of form of evidence that went against their agenda, and so much stuff just got lost. It's sad, but it's pathetic too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like so much
Stuff
stuff
that's
that
been
could benefit the world.
lost or like hidden, lost, fucking twisted. So the opposite of what it should be.
Yeah. Well, you look at the Egyptian pyramids, or even their structures, for instance. Like no one knows how they built them because like their technology got lost over the years. Like whether where it was destroyed deliberately or it just died over time. There could be a lot of different theories or behind that sort of thing, but it's just one of those things that never got kept in the history, or whether it was just some part of someone's agenda or just like I said, like just lost in time. But for something that's something so, what would you call it? A great advancement in human civilization to be able to build those pyramids in however construction they did it. It was like
So
it's a absolute mind blowing achievement.
for something of such significance, Anthony, you would think
Yeah,
that. Excuse me, sorry. You would think that people need to know how we've done this.
yeah,
There's got to be
exactly. And like,
something
how can that
somewhere.
just be lost over time?
You would think anyway, wouldn't you, that there would be some sort of documentation on it.
Yeah, or if it did get destroyed, why destroy something like that?
Yeah.
And so
It's
it's just going through that spin in the works there because, like, obviously we're trying to figure out, like, everyone wants to go and jump to the alien conclusion that they built the pyramids. It's like, look, it's not a far fetched sort of theory because, like, obviously we can't figure out how they did it initially, but humans are clever. They'll figure out some way to do something if they really wanted to.
yeah.
You look at the Indians there. I think it was India or somewhere there. Like, they created a fountain basically. I can't remember exactly where, but what they did is they dug a tunnel under the ground
Yeah.
and tunneled it towards this lake, and basically dug up underneath this lake, and then the next minute the pressure from the water and that going through this tunnel and into this fountain, and made their own little fountain river system in their own city that was like miles away. I need to search this up now because it was absolutely amazing little documentary I watched there, and they just put into perspective of human ingenuity to go and build something like that. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It's for sure is, mate. What's your thoughts on the pyramids being built before the Egyptians, like them sort of already being there? Do you think that's a
Oh,
possibility?
that's a good spin on that one. Geez, but I don't know. Look, I wouldn't put it past it. Like if it did manage to survive the cleansing of the world, like where the world went through its own cleanse, basically. It did a reset.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, it's not impossible, but yeah, the concept's there, that's for sure. I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just throwing the idea that the only reason I'm throwing it there is just, I mean, come on, anything's possible. Anything.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like, I'm trying to find this bloody thing for you so I can actually get a bit more detail on, because it's absolutely a ripper of a story. But I just can't remember what the play was. But if you think about it too, it comes in ancient civilizations. They've been finding different bits of technology that was strange, a bit weird, that sort of defies our known technology. I think they found this weird little computer-looking thing. It sort of look a bit like a steampunky kind of computer. I can't remember exactly what they called it, but they didn't
Is
even know
that
how
the
to make
thing?
it
What
work or what the concept was for.
is that? Did they find it under? Was it found in some sea?
Was it what? Sorry.
Was it found in the ocean?
Yeah, it was.
Like,
Yeah, it's,
it
that's
looked
right.
like some sort of clockwork, like kind of device thing.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Is it the same one?
Yeah, that's it. That sounds like it. Yeah, it looked like something from a steampunk kind of world that didn't make sense on how it worked, or they can't even grasp the concept of what it was even used for yet.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck's
And
it
I don't know
called
how
now?
true this one was. I found something come across Facebook feed. You don't know how much is true through Facebook feeds, but
Yeah.
anyway, they found something there where they found this looks like an electrical plug. Basically it was a squarish kind of stone with two copper holes inside it, and it looked like you plug something into it, and it was made out of stone. So, and it's well,
That don't even make any sense.
no, it doesn't. It's just well, where's the power come from to go and be able to use that sort of thing? It doesn't make sense, but it's one of it's claimed that it was found in an ancient tomb or some ancient cave or something
Was it Greek?
Oh, could have been Greek. All right, bugger the fountain. I'm going to start looking for this little weird computer thing now.
Oh, I fucking love it, mate. Hang on, let's have a look. I think I might have found something. Is it called? I'll probably going to butcher how to pronounce this. Antikythera mechanism.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
That's it. Yeah. Discovered in 1902 on a shipwreck on the coast of that word I just said. I'm not saying that again.
Yeah.
In Greece. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Antikythera.
And I think 1902, they weren't really. Oh, actually, no, they would have had steam engines back then. Yeah, of course, because World War One was around then, so they're using diesel engines and stuff like that. So cogs weren't out of the question.
Oh, fucking hell, mate. Still.
Yeah, but if you look at the image of this thing, it's rusted to shit house.
Yeah.
It's got minuscule little cogs or something that's inside it that is well in advancement of that time. So
they've actually. Oh, have you seen the reproduction of it?
No, I haven't actually. Is it a bit further down? Is it?
Well, it looks like they've attempted to reproduce it. I don't know how accurate it will be because you've seen the state of it. I mean,
Yeah.
how old is it? So do they know how old it is roughly?
Oh, I need to go back through this now, see if we can try and find it again. Hang on.
There's coins from 86 BC, 67 BC.
Yeah, they're claiming 2nd century BC, so that's before Christ. That's a big claim.
Yeah, but what them dates are, from what I can make out of it anyway, they're for coins that were found on the ship this machine could have been fucking God knows how long before. Like I think it was found as, from what I can make out, it was found as on a shipwreck kind of thing, and the coins were dated. What they found also, like with everything what they found, 86 and 67 BC. So this device is fucking mad. It's mind blowing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's well too advanced. Like I think even today's day and age, like we could do it today's technology, but compared to the dates that they're claiming this thing existed, there's no way they had that technology.
No.
Because like there's just too much stuff in the world that just doesn't make sense to ancient civilization skills. Like look, you got artisans there that are very skilled and patient and would have taken them years to go and do this sort of thing. But some of the skill levels to be able to go and do something in such precision like that, they can't make those kind of mistakes, or they can't afford to make mistakes with that kind of skill that we think they would have.
Yeah. Well,
sense.
I mean, it's got from what it says here. There's 82 parts in the device. 82. Now they would all have to be 100% spot on for it to work correctly. That's what I would think anyway. It's a bit like, I guess, like a clock.
Yeah.
Like the movement of a clock. It takes like if one bit's out, it's gonna not be accurate, is it?
Well, they're even saying, I think one of the thing he was saying was like it's 13 centimeters in diameter, so 5.1 inches in diameter. So that's like a small, little hand watch, little pocket watch.
Yeah.
I think it's about the same size. So again, going to that sort of minuscule detail of that time, it doesn't make sense.
It's like making that, actually making the device, the tools what they would have needed to create that again.
Yeah.
And then the tools what would have needed to create those tools. It's fucking mad, man. What they must have been capable of.
Yeah.
I mean, so I wonder, like when they find all these discoveries, I wonder how many there's yet to come out. Because there's all this stuff keeps popping up.
It does. Yeah. It's things is constantly getting discovered. Like I said, like that sort of weird plug thing. It doesn't make sense, like how that would have been used. I don't know, but it's just sort of strange.
There's so much we don't know in there. So much we don't know. I think that's what makes everything so fascinating.
Yeah, because I think there's even like they've even found like fuses and stuff like that. Like spark plugs, your fuses for electricity and stuff like that. They're finding stuff like that. That's like ancient technology as well, and it's really strange sort of stuff.
Yeah. I think we think that we only had electricity fairly recently. Well, did we?
Well, yeah, that's right.
Well, imagine if they had like mobile phones a couple of 100 years ago and we just don't know about it.
Well, yeah, that's one way to look at it too, isn't it? It's like, wow. Because it sort of like just really makes you wonder, like how much of ancient civilization could have possibly been inherited from extraterrestrial beings, or whether it was just from an ancient civilization that was just advanced for its time, and then yet these extraterrestrials that we claim them to be could be from all these crafts or beings that we were seeing are from an ancient civilization from here. So people are claiming ultra-terrestrial, so terrestrial beings that were here before us, and would they survived the whole world's cleansing basically, and then they could have just gone down to that hollow earth. That's where they went down to be safe while the earth did its thing.
Yeah,
So there
Oh,
you go, just on the food for
oh,
thought.
this might come across as sounding a little bit odd. But what if we are this now? This reality is we're in the hollow earth, but we don't know
Well,
it.
well, so there you go. Like, well, I don't know, because if you could sort of put to the perspective of space, like, there's been claims out there now that space is fake. so, so what is space? And that claims that we are in the hollow earth. I don't know. It's not an impossible theory, but it sort of makes you wonder though, like, what are we seeing out there then if we are in a hollow earth?
Yes.
What's making the stars? What's making the whole universe out there that we're, or the observable universe that we are seeing?
I mean, it's even like that, Anthony. Like the universe, but the stars, the space. We're only told what NASA tell us what this is. This should be that's that planet. That's its name. It's just is it all coincidence?
Yeah, like I understand what you're getting at. Like, we're whatever we get told, we believe it, and what we've
Yeah,
grown up with, basically. And like, you make a strong point there. You do. We are taught to. Well, this is it. This is what you're seeing. This is what we got told, and that's how it is.
yeah. What you see is what you get, I guess.
Yeah, basically, and there's no questioning it. Well, obviously you can question it, but
Yeah.
we're not going to get the answers that we want because that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
part of the narrative, basically. So
Right.
yeah, it does make you wonder, like, how much has been withheld from us in that regard. Like, people claim we're in a simulator.
Yeah.
Uh, there's a lot of strange, different concepts and theories out there, but again, we're never going to know what the hell this is. What is life? What's our purpose? What is the whole concept of everything that we do here and our progress, basically, as in life?
Yeah.
Where's it going to lead us to? Where did we even come from? Like, I've got my young fellow there asking, "Oh, who made us?" And it's like, mate, I've got no idea. And he goes, "Oh, I reckon aliens made us." I'm like, mate, it's a good, strong possibility, mate. But and then in the end, we're like, we just don't know.
Is that what your lad said? Is that what your
Yeah,
lad
he's
said?
asked me. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fucking brilliant, that, mate. How old's your little one, if you don't mind me asking?
yeah. He's 6. He's 6 years old now, and he's just going,
Oh,
mate, Dad, where do we
brilliant,
come
mate.
from? I said, "Oh, no idea."
I'll tell you what, though, mate. If he's asking questions like this now, that's brilliant. It really is. I
Yeah,
mean,
good. Look, when he gets older, he can start doing my job and start doing this sort of stuff and continue on the family trait.
yeah, I mean, my daughter's like 15, and I try and encourage her. If you're unsure, especially in school, as long as you're not, don't be disrespectful, but question everything.
Yeah,
It's the only way you're going to learn, mate, isn't it?
that's right. But the biggest thing is too, like, if you're going to question something, you need to try and, well, I suppose, like, where I was going to try and go with this then, like, question it, but I suppose you don't have to believe it. Try and do your own evidence, get your own
Yeah,
evidence to try and back that up. If you still seem to want to question it, and which is fine, like, everyone should do that. I go along the path of, like, take everything objectively and respectfully, obviously,
yeah,
and go do your own homework, basically. But if you're gonna have something that you've questioned there, and you don't find it answers your question, or it doesn't fulfill the answers that you want or you get,
yeah,
basically, you need to go and reproduce that evidence to go and back up your claims that sort of goes against what you're
for
being
sure.
told, or something.
Yeah,
Because, like, obviously there's, like, um, you know, things are bent to other people's agendas or something, like, information to go on, to appease their audience, basically.
yes. That
Um,
is a dead cert, that, mate.
basically, because, like, you look at throughout history, there's so many different examples there where that's happened. You know, people bend things to their own agenda, whether it be
Yeah,
good or
yeah,
bad, or just for selfish reasons. And a lot of it has been badly thrown throughout society. For years we were like growing
yeah,
up thinking, oh yeah, Pluto's a planet, but now all of a sudden they want to claim it a planet. It's like, well, why not? It's that sort of stuff. It's a bad
yeah.
example, I know, but you know what I mean.
No, it's not, mate. It's a quality example. I think, like you're saying, they've fed us full of bullshit for forever, and they'll try and twist the previous narrative. Like you're saying, ridiculing us.
Yeah.
I mean,
it sort of makes you wonder too. Like, if the world was just honest, like, where would we be today? Like, we could be like miles in front. But people want their own gains, their own selfish opportunities and stuff like their own agendas.
yeah,
And
definitely.
for me, I'm not all about that. I don't care. I've got nothing to really gain for this. Like, obviously, like being rich would be nice, because then you don't have to really worry about going to work, or you don't have to worry about bills coming through. Like, of course, that'd be nice. You'd be comfortable. You go out and enjoy life to how you're meant to enjoy it. But fortunately, like, the people up top there don't want that. They need to have the peasants like us doing all this sort of shit there to try and get by on our daily jobs and all sorts of stuff. But like, you look at the money the world has now, everyone could have a bit of that coin there that's out there. There's so much money out there. It's bullshit.
I know. You hit the nail on the head there, mate. It's like with I don't really like talking about him, but Elon Musk. He spent God knows how much on buying Twitter or Twitter. You think that now, if that was me, now, firstly, it's his money, so he can do whatever he wants, really. But to me, how I look at it is, he is in a position, or I think he's in a position where he could do a lot more for Earthrealm than buying fucking a social media network, Twitter. Than buying that, he could help kids.
Absolutely.
Homeless people, starving people. He's always banging on about, I can do this with solar energy. Why has he not done anything with it? He might have done for all I know, but I think that, like I said, it's his money, but to me, he could do a lot more than what he's done or he's doing.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, like, if you were the top dog of this world, right? Well, there's so many of them, like, so many bloody billionaires, trillionaires, whatever, if they like just go, look, I'm going to give every single person on this earth $1 million, and everyone would be covered. I reckon their bank would give everyone $1 million across the whole world, and they'd still have money to go and spare.
Oh, definitely. But they won't.
No, they won't. I don't get that part. Like, what's the point of having all this money and for what? You're not going to be able to, like, you could spend it all if you really wanted to, but what's the point of having all this capital gain just to go and have, look, I'm now the richest person in the world. Whoop-de fucking do.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy, mate.
Yeah, well, I think Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world at the moment, I think, with the guy who owns Amazon. Jeff Bezos.
Oh, yeah. He's another oddball, isn't
he? Yeah, he's an old one. But yeah, look again. Look, even him. Like, if him and Elon bloody joined forces together with the financials, there gave everyone $1 million each. Everyone will be debt free. They'll be able to live their lives how they want.
They won't do that.
No, they won't. Well, look, even if it's 500,000 just to go and start off with, like, people will be able to pay their houses off, and then they can go and still keep working and I don't know. It's just
I mean, it's like they make out as if they built it all up from scratch. They didn't.
yeah.
He didn't anyway.
No.
Was his parents? Did they have like a diamond mine or jewel mine?
It was this with Jeff Bezos.
Oh no, I was on about Must. What did you put about Bezos? What did he?
I got no idea. Actually, I got no idea on their histories. I know Elon Musk. He studied in a university there, and he came up with some program designs and stuff like that. Sort of made him quite.
Didn't his
rich.
family have an emerald mine or something like that though?
I can't really remember, to tell the truth. He
I'm
could have done.
pretty sure they did. It's like so. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, mate.
Sure.
It's like they've already got a start in life. What 99.9% people haven't had, and will never get that start of being born into wealth.
Yeah,
I think
and that's the thing too. Like, someone who hasn't been in that that scene, you know, in that high society sort of scene.
Yeah.
They are a lot more. They're a lot more. I'm trying to think of the word now. Like, they're a lot more giving and what can't even think of the word for it now.
It's like you've got no empathy. Is that what you mean?
No, like generous. Like, you know, people of low society who haven't had much to give. You know, they're a lot more generous and like, say if they were in a situation where they did get a bit of wealth behind them, I suppose they'd be a lot more willing to give that out to other people who are in that same situation as them beforehand. You know.
Yeah.
Whereas people who are in that higher, richy society, where they're greedy and have their own selfish ambitions. So I'm not going to say that like as everyone, but there's always, given the stereotype, that's how it is.
Yeah.
At least that's how I perceive it anyway. I could be wrong, but that's from my perspective. That's how I see it, and so that's basically my opinion.
It's a good perspective, that, mate. I'd lean towards that same sense. There's a huge difference. It's like me personally. If it's just I'm walking through town and there's somebody there, most likely homeless, asking for money. If you can tell, just to an extent, those that are like begging for money for drugs or drink or stuff like that. But if it's somebody who's genuine and they've, you know, been unfortunate, I think you can tell to an extent. And I'd fucking give them my last pound.
Yeah.
It's not
Absolutely.
nice seeing another person, man or woman, or, you know, it's not nice seeing someone suffer.
No, absolutely not.
But it's like some of these, I don't call them elites, because there's nothing elite, in my opinion, there's nothing elite about them. It's like they take joy in seeing people suffer.
Yeah,
I know
I
that might
can't
sound
go
a bit
that.
strange, but it's also this is what society has come to. It's fucking sad.
Yeah.
You know,
But
because
it's not just them either, though. It's the world governments, the governments of countries, and that sort of play a big part in that as well. You know, like I'll give Australia for example. Like, this is how I know we need to go and help each other out and that sort of stuff. But like, there's been situations in Australia where, like, you know, we've got towns that are flooding or on fire. You know, we've got natural catastrophes happening, something like that. You know, and people are losing their houses and stuff like that. And next thing, there's overseas, a country over there has been hit by a major flood or had a cyclone go through or something like, you know.
Pakistan.
No, not Pakistan. Like, but like one of our neighboring islands, like like say Fiji or somewhere like, or even I think India had some stuff going on there at some stage.
Yeah.
Just one of those random sort of countries that and then Australia goes, oh look, here's bloody $20 million, go and help you in support for your country, to get yourselves back on track or whatever. And it's like, well, hang on, we've got like all these people down here who lost all their houses thanks to fires and floods and whatever, who need that help more than anything. And you're going to go and give that up to another country that can sort of support themselves, look after themselves a bit. It's like, look after your own people first.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
I know we also like to I know we need to help each other out here, but like the people in your own country are your foundation. They're the ones that need the support to go and keep the country going.
It's where it should begin, mate. I agree with you.
Yeah. And so like it's sad. I can't grasp the concept of like governments that don't want to look after their people, at least give them priorities, over other crap. Because like if you got a happy country, they're going to be happy to do the work and do the support, all that sort of stuff. And it's like if you're working for a good company, if they look after the workers, the production's going to be top notch, isn't it? They're going to go and put all their effort into making sure the company's growing and building and has top quality to make sure everything's good. That same sort of concept. So like, keep the people happy, and you're going to have a happy environment, aren't you? Look after.
Yes, definitely, mate. Definitely.
But basically, going back to what's been going on with say the I know you don't want to call them elites, but say the richies and all sorts of stuff, bending things to their agenda. Like it sort of makes you wonder too, like with their control in regards to technology and stuff like that, have they been hiding stuff that they have control of, and not releasing it yet? And is it a governmental thing? Could it be the control of extraterrestrials or ultra-terrestrial beings that are saying you're not ready for this technology yet to be released, sort of thing? It's sort of like a slow release in technology. Like even though we haven't had anything major released in the past couple of decades, like I think what the biggest advancement we had really is mobile phones. Off the top of my head, computers have gone a long way, and so now we've basically got a supercomputer in our palm every day. I think that's like the greatest and best technology that we have to this day, but we haven't had anything that's absolutely mind-boggling or defying in that sort of advancement. So it makes you wonder, like how much stuff is still being hidden behind those closed doors that would help and benefit human society to to the point there where we could be flying among doing all the Jetsons, George Jetson scenarios, living out in the atmosphere and flying around little zippy floating cars and stuff. It'd be awesome. Like we could have already been there for all we know, but how much has been compressed to our knowledge,
mate, my mind's blown. I love it. Incredible, man.
Like it's interesting, but it's frustrating at the same time. It's like I just want to know, like, stop bullshitting with us and just give us what we want. Give us help human society. Help people of the earth. They're advance to where they need to, where they don't need to rely on these greedy bastards that just keep wanting to be the richest people in the world. Get rid of the currencies.
Get rid of them.
It's frustrating. I was honestly, my perfect world is like everyone working together, everything's peaceful, everyone's got love, harmony, whatever, everyone's just.
We have as one,
yeah, as one. None of this bloody working your ass off to go and enjoy life. I like to work to live, not live to work. At least that's my motto, anyway.
Yeah. Incredible, mate. Really is.
Yeah. It sort of makes you wonder, It does. It really does.
Yeah. You know, mate, I've got a fucking daft smirk on my face.
I'm pretty much the same too. I'm just wondering.
It's
Mate, I hate
I mean,
the way the world is.
this is the whole thing. That's why I love speaking to you, mate. You never know which journey we're going to end up at, the path on our conversation, but it's always guaranteed quality conversation.
Yeah, no, it's good. Look, because it's just things that need to be talked about. You know, there's so many different concepts and different theories of the world, and like you can just take you around everywhere. Like you can spend hours, if not days, just talking about this stuff and going, "What about this? Oh yeah, what about this?" And then it's like, "Oh, geez, you're just throwing me
You're
off
not
this
wrong.
path here now." It's like bloody
You're
hell.
not. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, mate.
Because like
Oh,
like no answer is wrong basically when it comes to this sort of thing.
yeah,
Like every single thing could play a small, minute percentage to the truth of what could be a
yeah,
possibility, and that's the thing people need to grasp on. Like for example, like the how much truth is behind the whole moon landing back there in '69.
Ooh,
Was that true or was it
that's
false?
a crack of that, mate. That is a crack.
Let's go and throw that one in the works. Like there's obviously some truth. There could be a lot of lies in between it too. Like who knows? But like the fact that we never went back there for however long, there's about 10, 15 missions there or something like that, apparently. Um, there's a lot of works in it. The big cover ups, if it was, they've done pretty well to go and hide that sort of, if it was
Yeah,
a lie,
yeah.
they've done well to hide that.
Do you think that? Excuse me. Sorry, mate. Do you think that they did it, or they claim that they went to the moon to provoke the Russians?
To promote them, did you say?
To provoke.
Oh, provoke them? Oh, definitely. I think
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this more like um, a dick shaking contest? Who's got the biggest dick?
yeah.
That's pretty much all it was. Just to try and show who's more superior in the technology side of things. Who's got the because I think Russia did the first claim to going, oh yeah, we're going to the moon. And then America's like, nah, fuck you, we're going first. And then managed to go and build something up within like what 10 years I think it took them to go and develop the rocket to the moon. And then oh look, I'm open to the idea like they did go there, but I'm also open to the idea that they didn't go there. But the strange part is like I think it was like 10 missions or something like that, then never went back. And it's like, well, why would you stop going there?
I've always wondered that. Why suddenly? Why suddenly stop? But also, put that stop into side. Um, why have they also lost how to get there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was going to mention that too. Like they lost the technology to go and be able to get there. It's like, well, how do you lose that? You, it's like
Fucking
it's like losing the tire to your car and going, oh, I can't get there, and then I
oh
don't know
man,
how to make a wheel to put back on on the car. And it's like, well, how do you lose
they,
that?
it's like they must think that we're fucking really gullible and stupid to believe everything they say.
Yeah, and look, I think that I know they just sent a rocket there now to go to the moon to go and scope it out, and
Scope it out. I
yeah,
love it.
I know it's a weird how they described it was weird, and it was really sort of how do you explain it? Like, not cryptid in a sense, like, but it's like as if like they sort of like talked about it like as if they'd never been there before, and it's like, well, you've been there before, so why do you really need to go and sort of like find out more about it, sort of thing? Like you should have like 10 missions that went there, should have plenty of data and detail of what's up there, what
Yeah,
to expect, kind of like I know our technology has advanced a lot since then, so obviously we can get some finer details and stuff like that. But it's one of those things, like the way they just the way they word it is like as if we've never been up there before. So it just raises a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting either way when I think it was the Artemis. I think it's called the Artemis that they sent up there.
Oh,
When it
yes. Yeah.
went last week, I think it launched off.
Didn't one get damaged? Was one get damaged recently?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't kept
could-
up with it since. I remember just getting a notification that the Artemis was going to be getting launched, and then I missed the actual launch day because I think I was
Oh,
asleep for work that day and I missed it. So I was
yeah.
spewing. But either way, I'm pretty sure that was last week now, and I think it takes 3 days to get to the moon. And so whatever it's doing, I think it does a few laps for a little while there, and then it'll come back or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I didn't get that detailed information from it, but they're basically scoping it out, getting it ready to go and send people back up there for next year, or is it the year after? But then I'm pretty sure. But then I'm pretty sure I read somewhere else that they've canned it.
All right.
So it's like, well, why you canned it for? Like, the whole concept was to go up there and try and create like a base on there to send people over there to start living up there basically and start researching into the whole moon. And we're basically getting our first base on the moon, first civilization on there.
Yeah. What about? Do you think that? Like you saying about like civilization. Do you think that the moon could be hollow again?
Could be hollow. Well,
Could be. Fucking hell, man. You just don't know, do you?
No, you don't. That could be like the whole Death Star concept right there.
Fucking hell, man. Spot on that.
It's just got a good cover up of the got this all big rocky crater bloody skin on it at front of it.
Yeah. Oh mate, have you seen a film called Moonfall?
No, I can't say I have.
Have you got Amazon Prime? I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's on one of them. Moonfall, mate. Oh, you'd love it. You'd love it.
I'll have to go and check it out.
Yeah, I'll not spoil it for you. It's worth watching, mate. I might watch it in a bit actually before I go to sleep.
Why not?
It's I've seen it. I think I've seen it about twice now. It's if you it can be worrying if you look at it a certain way anyway. But it's worth watching, honestly, mate.
Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. So I'm just reading through. I just did a quick search up of the Artemis. I think the Artemis didn't launch it at all. So
didn't launch at all.
No.
Was it a malfunction then?
It was. They found a fuel leak. So that's one of those good things that they found.
Fucking hell, man.
Basically just from 2 days ago. I think that's when the launch was meant to be. 2 days? No, was it 2 days ago? No.
2 days.
Sure was it. This is what the article's saying 2 days ago. So I'm sure it was meant to be last week that it launched, unless they delayed it and then this is the new update to it. I don't know, but yeah, they're just basically saying there was a leak in the equipment transferring hydrogen fuel and prevented them from fully loading the rocket, basically. So, okay, yeah, so a similar leak was one of the several issues that led to the postponement of the early attempt on August 29. So, yeah, that was when I was thinking, so yeah, last week when I thought it was meant to go off.
Yeah.
And so obviously it's been delayed again for a similar leak. So, interesting, to say the least.
Very, very interesting. Fucking fascinating, mate.
Yeah. But it'd be good, like, because I was like literally thinking like the other day, because like I went away on holidays there and I was away from all technology and that, so I had no connection to the outside world or whatever. And I was like literally thinking like, oh, that bloody thing's up there cruising along there, it should be doing laps around the moon by now. Thinking to myself, going, this is cool, we're up there again. And now I just found this out, like, just ruined me. Ruined it.
Fucking hell, man.
because it is cool. Like going back onto the whole the hierarchies of the world. The government, obviously, the U.S. government was controlling NASA basically, and everything that was going up from NASA was government controlled. Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah.
it's good that we are I know as horrible as it is having these what do you want to call them? What you call them, the Richies. You don't call them elites. I don't want to call them elites either, but the Richies. Having so Jeff Bezos, for instance, and Elon Musk, and you got Bob Bigelow. They're the big three at the moment there for the space race, basically. And of course you got NASA on the side, but they're funded pretty poorly. And which they're now NASA's actually thrown their stuff over to Elon Musk now to start trying to get things up into space because he's that far ahead in the technology for the rockets and stuff. So it's probably a good thing having outside organizations to go and continue the space race up in getting to the moon and populating the moon possibly in the future, because it's a good example of the last 50 years. Basically, NASA's been in control of everything when it comes to space, or at least we've been reliant on NASA for getting to space. And obviously it was a slow process because it was government controlled from the getting their what do you call it, the not loans, but you get they're getting funded from the government for their their progress in technology and stuff like that, whereas Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, they got their own income to rely on to keep their their technology up and going, and to keep getting this process happening. It's like a big race at the moment. Who's going to go and populate the moon first? So it's not a bad thing when you look at it in that kind of concept where it's advancing human advancement.
I get you, mate. I get you. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I know, people complain about the world, people they should be looking at people looking after their own people first, back on people who need the help and all sorts of stuff too, which they could easily go and do with the amount of money they've got, and while still bloody doing their
1,000 times over.
Bullshit,
1,000 times over, mate. They could do that, but they won't.
Yeah.
They won't do it.
No, they won't. No, and that's the sad part. No, I know going back on it, but that's the reality there of it. They have every single bloody opportunity to go and help the people around the world to go and benefit the world, but still want to go and continue on their own goals, their own gains, basically.
As long as they can maybe, I don't know, kill one monkey per day with the experimental bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what it's animal cruelty at the end of the day, mate. And if you're going to do a chip, do it yourself.
That's right.
Show us what you really are, or what you're really capable of, whether you be man or woman or machine. I don't know what you are, but sorry, Elon. Fucker.
Well, it makes you think too, when they do get to the moon, and obviously, they're going to want to start bringing rocks back, or they might want to start mining it, for instance. That's billions of dollars of money's worth of bringing that all back and forth.
In their pockets, mate. Just bear that in mind. We won't get any of that. It'll be theirs.
No, that's right.
It's all their gain.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much ore they would get out of the bloody moon, because apparently, well, I don't know much about the moon to tell you the truth, but I can't see much gain in mining it to be bringing it back to Earth.
It's a lot of cheese. A lot of cheese, mate.
It's all cheese. That's right.
All cheese. There's a bit of cheddar.
Oh, the Italians would be loving it, wouldn't they?
Yeah. They're French. Fucking.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're in the French.
It will be a cheese fest.
They'll be bringing all the crackers. As soon as that
Fucking
rocket lands, they'll be all
crackers.
lined up with crackers there, going, "Oh, go on, give us a piece of that cheese."
Yeah. Start talking like proper cunts as well. I love it, mate. I love it.
It sort of reminds me of that. What's that show? There was it Wallace and Gromit,
Oh, fucking.
and like he actually builds a
Yeah,
rocket and goes up into the moon there, and he gets the cheese, and he goes, "Oh, cheese!" Or something
Wallace
like
and
that.
Gromit, mate. That's quite cool, that,
I
mate.
can't remember how
I
the
like that.
story went, but did he run out of cheese or something? And then he's like, "Oh, I need to go get some more cheese." So he goes, "Oh, let's go and build a rocket and just go get some more cheese." Go
I
to the
think there's a
moon.
couple of different like episodes type of thing. Or they were like films, weren't they? Like mini films kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to know how they came up with the idea that they say the moon is made out of cheese. Like, who comes up with that?
Yeah. It's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, like, I can't see how it resembles cheese whatsoever. Like, obviously, like maybe Swiss cheese because there are little craters here and there, you know. But like, you
Hey,
think
yeah,
about
fucking hell, mate. I'd never thought of it, but now who started that one? We'll have to have a look into it.
yeah, it's a strange
What
one,
is?
isn't it? It is.
Yeah, it'll be somewhat daft like fucking I don't know, Elon Musk. Oh, imagine if it was Elon Musk.
Oh no, I think it was well before his time. 'Cause I'm pretty sure that was like a oh geez, like a little bedtime story, like kids story thing. I remember growing up as with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's there's a lot of weird things, like like especially like when you talk like flat earthers, like that sort of concept, all that sort of crap.
Flat Earth, mate. What do you think of Flat Earth, Anthony?
Bleh.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I
so
like that.
come
How's it
on.
go again? How's it go again, mate?
Bleh. Look, some of
Love
this
it.
stuff is somewhat convincing. Like they do have some good points, but in the end, like it doesn't make sense in the end. Like, I can't go into full detail of their side of things, but I think they even like one guy even got he got crowdfunded to go and build his own rocket, and he went up, got to the atmosphere, and he's like, "Oh, it's round." Yeah, no, it's round. I can't. It's not flat, and just blew his whole conspiracy out the door. Basically, like I don't know how true that one is. Like it could be just another round earther agenda coming out. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But there's also another story there where another guy built his own rocket, but he killed himself in the process because he built the rocket wrong. He
Was it? What's his name now? Oh, fuck. They did a series on him, Strange Angel. Jack Parsons, is that you mean?
I'm not really sure on the name. All I remember is
Oh,
like he built a rocket there, and I think it was the guidance or something that helped with the trajectory. He mucked up on that and just ended up nosediving.
oh shit, man.
Yeah. Like obviously with rockets they're expensive. You only get one shot at it, so as sad as it is, you can't really test it. But at least he's like done that whole test it yourself sort of thing. But it's a shame he didn't get to go and you know find his truth, I suppose. But yeah, look, God, there's so many different theories out there. Like you just don't know what to believe. Still got you? Hope you disappeared on me. Hello. No, you muted yourself. Hang on, I'm busy. Got you back?
Now, So I apologise for we've just lost connection somehow. I couldn't hear Anthony. Anthony couldn't hear me. It just went weird. It was weird at your end as well.
Yeah, it did. It was a bit of a strange thing that happened there. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe the hierarchies like starting to interfere and they're not liking what we're talking about.
Deep state.
That's it.
That's it, mate. Anthony, every single time we have a conversation, you blow my fucking mind, man. That conversation was fucking beyond extraordinary. Every part of it. I love that conversation we've just had. Thank you very much, sir.
No, mate. No, thank you for having me on, mate. Appreciate it. Look, mate, it's definitely like a lot of things that we don't understand out there. You know, it's a lot of
there is, mate. There is
a lot of questions that we just won't get the answers for. You know, and it's just a big rounded wormhole that we just keep going loops around with different branches here and there to go through and just take us deeper again. You know, it's just it's a mind-boggling world out there. You know, it's just we just never need to know.
But it wouldn't be the same if we wasn't having such quality conversations.
No, that's it, mate. Look, every person that sort of questions reality that's out there, mate, they all put their own part into it, and you know, it's just quality everywhere, not just for myself or you. You know, it's just people that question everything in general. They're quality, you know.
Yeah.
And like, mate, such yourself there, mate. You're doing a great job here, giving the opportunity for everyone to go and do this. You know, just sort of dive down the wormhole, mate. Like, you know, you've done great, you know, community. I'm trying to get the word out, you know, but
I think I mean it's like before we even started recording. We've said this previously as well. I think it's like connecting Australia and England and us having different perspectives, but similar. I 100% lean into your direction, and vice versa. I think that even when like we've done shows with Triffin and you know the few shows that I know of from Australia are elite level that of podcasts, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Look, I wish I could give like more detail into things than that. Like I'm just a low peasant there with a low IQ, so I can't give all the big words and the big detail of things, you know. But you know,
not at all, mate.
Oh, look, I was like, I sort of think of myself as like, you know, you don't have to have the high level IQ. You don't have to have an education behind you to go and look into this sort of stuff or to even try and explain it. You know, I explain things horribly. I can't go into great detail to save me life. You know, if I was trying to explain something there, I'll just dig myself deeper into a hole, I think, you know.
Keto, mate. Keto. But the one thing, I'm sorry to interrupt, mate, is we're trying.
That's it, yeah.
If we've both gone off the cuff, you know, I've not got no notes in front of me. A couple of key points, but you know, they were from when we first started. As good as like building up your introduction, but there's nothing better than having a conversation with somebody like-minded.
Yeah, that's it. And it's more natural too, you know, free flowing. Where you just think of whatever comes to mind and you just ask that question, like something out of curiosity. Even if even if you can't get the answer that to go with that question, you know, you're still, you know, you're conversing. You're trying to figure out what the answer might possibly be. You know, to get that concept behind that question, you know. And like I was saying before, you don't have to have an education. You didn't have to be a doctor or a professor or in a university to go and try and explain this stuff, because even they don't even know the damn answers themselves, you know. They're dreaming if they think they know the answers.
Fucking 1,000,000% true. I mean, doctors is a prime example. I remember, I think near enough every time that I took daughters, and she's been genuinely ill. You know, like you can tell, especially with kids, you can tell when kids are ill. And the doctors, you'll tell them the symptoms, and what is it they do? They get a book out, and
these days they just Google it.
Yeah. There used to be a book, and that book now is, like you said, digital. So all they'll put in like symptoms, just like fucking, oh, his back's gone, fucking glass back, or whatever they put in, and they'll come up medications, what we can give them. Have we tried this? Or let's try this, let's try that. So, but I think we're all guinea pigs to some extent. Fucking mad, man. It's mad, isn't it?
It is. The world's crazy, and
it is crazy.
Look, as beautiful as it is in its own way, you know, it's just human society is a crazy part of it.
Yeah, it is, mate. Anthony, that was killer show, mate. Thank you very much. I look forward to speaking to you again. But before we wrap it up, would you like to tell everybody where they can get hold of you, please, mate?
Yeah, mate. Look, mate. Again, thanks for having me, mate. Absolute ripper having speaking with you, mate, and your audience, mate. So thank you to all your audience, of course, for putting up with me and listening to me, obviously. But look, guys, if you want to come and check me out, I am on all socials: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and all sorts of stuff there. But join me on the Facebook page, Encounters Down Under, the podcast Facebook page there, where you can get in on the live shows there, where guests are invited to the show to talk about their encounters with aliens and UFOs. The podcast can be reached on all the major platforms there, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, I think it is, whatever it is. Basically, I'm pretty much almost everywhere, basically, but at least all the major ones on there. So yeah, come check it out, guys. Help spread the word, obviously, because this stuff is real. It's out there. It's happening, you know, and all the better for people to come on the show and talk about their experiences there to make that reality known, to be honest.
Yeah. You have, I mean, since I found your show, but it's actually Grub. I highly recommend it. And Grub is, it's quality. He is, he's a one-off.
Getting his grubby mitts into everywhere and finding all the juicy podcasts and all the people out there that actually have half a brain out there, you know, that know what's going on out there.
You've had him on your show as well, haven't you?
No, I haven't had him on my show yet. No,
you've not. He's sorry, mate. He's been on with Triffin.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he went on there with Unlocking the Code with Triffin there.
Yeah, you've been on with us though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been on with Triffin there, Unlocking the Code as well, and I think the last time I was with you guys there was the Freaky Fridays.
Yeah. Like I said, mate. Oh, I tell you what. Sorry, not like I said to the listeners. You've got to check his show out. It is. It's up there with the best for any like UFO related. It is very unique, and the approach, everything about it.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Mate. Appreciate it.
Quality.
Appreciate it.
Thanks again, Anthony, mate. I can't wait till I'll speak to you again.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Anytime, mate.
Lovely.
Happy to.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording now, mate.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And that will do it, folks, for this episode of Encounters Down Under. I hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, you can also get involved in the show by joining the Facebook page and getting in on the live streams. Also, please be sure to share with your friends and family to help us grow and potentially find our next guest on the show. If you or you know someone who has had an encounter, please get in touch with me through our Facebook page via Messenger or email at australianUFOsightings@outlook.com.au. I look forward to seeing you on the next Encounter Down Under. Hooroo!